He's a spine specialist, longevity expert who has spent decades helping athletes, executives, and high performers stay sharp and resilient. He believes surgery should be the last resort. Today, we are talking about one of the most powerful non-invasive tools for longevity and sustained energy without the side effects of traditional therapies. I am thrilled. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Jeff Gross.
Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disruptive: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to WholeCEO with Lisa G. Today's conversation is for leaders who know this: if your body breaks down, your business eventually follows. My guest is a board-certified neurological surgeon. Since 2020, Top Doctor recognized Dr. Gross as a leading neurological surgeon. He's a spine specialist, longevity expert who has spent decades helping athletes, executives, and high performers stay sharp and resilient. He believes surgery should be the last resort. Today, we are talking about one of the most powerful non-invasive tools for longevity and sustained energy without the side effects of traditional therapies. I am thrilled. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Jeff Gross.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love this topic. I have to tell you, longevity is one of my favorite topics. The older I get, the more important it.
You're an expert.
Let's get into it. You trained as a neurosurgeon. What shifted your focus towards longevity and regenerative medicine instead of defaulting always to surgery?
Well, I don't think I've ever always defaulted to surgery, but it was always last on the list. But my patients get the credit for helping me open my eyes and put down the Kool-Aid of what we're taught and influenced by, big pharma and health insurance and the status quo. And they said, "Hey, doc, how about stem cells?" And I explained to them I never really trained in those during my residency. And I said, I don't really know, even though I have a background in the undergraduate side of these things. So finally, about 8 years ago, I went to a medical meeting. Instead of going to the spine surgery meeting, I went to the stem cell meetings, and it opened my eyes to so much that had changed in the decades since I had looked at this previously. And so much is done in Europe and Asia and is now here in the US. We're just late to the party. So I adopted it, and it's all I do now is stem cells, stem cell signaling, exosomes, peptides, all kinds of things to support health optimization and healthy longevity.
Well, that's great. I want to dive a little deeper just to make sure everybody understands, like in simple terms, what are plant-derived exosomes and why should high-performing leaders care about them?
Well, we use the general term here is regenerative biologics, and we use regenerative medicine, regenerative biologics from different sources. The main component stem cells, but those stem cells actually provide a signaling to our cells. So our cells can behave in a more youthful, restorative way. And through human biologics, we have stem cells, we have what's called stem cell exosomes and growth factors, but plants have stem cells and exosomes too. And that's how they deliver their nutrients, what we call phytonutrients. So things like the vitamin Bs, except B12, glutathione, resveratrol, spermidine. So many nutrients are already encapsulated by nature in an exosome. And the beauty of exosomes is you don't have to break them open to make a vitamin or supplement. They can be ingested orally, and they survive our stomach digestion. They get into our bloodstream and delivered to the cells at very high concentrations, 700 to 4,500 times what you would get from a typical supplement. So why haven't we had these before? These sounds amazing, right? That's a lot. It's because the lab work to extract the exosomes in their natural form and concentrate them was quite difficult. But now we have figured that out. We have a lab in Italy, and we have curated some organic Italian fruits that are in the long living centenarian blue zone where people are healthy and live longer. A lot of citrus fruits, mango, papaya, and we've extracted the exosomes. So we have come up with a plant-derived single daily capsule supplement. And if you take this, you don't need to take most of your B vitamins, your glutathione, your resveratrol, your spermidine, your quercetin, your fisetin, and so many more. Single little capsule a day gives you a significant impact towards fostering cellular health and longevity, which we need if we're going to have a actionable plan to stay healthy, keep in the game, and do what we want to do.
Okay, well, on a more practical level, let's just say somebody has arthritis in their joints. Like, let's say that person maybe has been working out their whole entire life. Can these exosomes help treat joint damage like that?
Well, the plant-derived exosomes I just mentioned to you, which are called Longevex for longevity exosomes, are probably not adequate to, directly help your body reverse osteoarthritis. For that, we turn to the human regenerative biologics, things that are donated by healthy, non-COVID vaccinated mothers here
Okay.
in the United States through accredited, donor services. At the time of a healthy baby delivery, they donate their amniotic fluid, their umbilical cord, and that's taken to an accredited FDA certified lab where the materials are tested and screened and only made available to clinicians like myself. And once they pass all those processes, then we apply them in a well-documented way based on medical evidence, studies performed in Europe and in Asia with over 15-year follow-up showing the benefits of helping people fight against cartilage degeneration and hopefully delay and avoid joint replacement surgeries.
Wow, that is powerful stuff because, as I get older, I notice like all of these more aches and pains from all these years that I've spent beating my body up with fitness. And so, how do these exosomes differ from supplements or IV therapies when it comes to the cellular absorption and the results that you're getting?
Well, exosomes are membrane encapsulated. The cell produces exosomes. All cells produce exosomes. It's the stem cell derived exosomes that we're really talking about here. Those are the ones that deliver a youthful, restorative, healing message to our cells. And they're encapsulated with a membrane, and that membrane is taken in through a process by a cell where it's incorporated and delivers its contents at high efficiency. So, whereas if you take a regular vitamin or supplement, it gets degraded in the gastrointestinal tract. Some gets absorbed, and then
Oh,
some of that is floating around in the bloodstream, never makes it into the cell because it's not encapsulated. Some vitamin manufacturers have found out that if you put those vitamins in a liposome, which is an artificial exosome, it can help the delivery, but nothing's better than nature. So nature and plants and animals we create these exosomes. That's how our cells communicate with each other.
oh, that's such a good distinction and breakdown to understand the difference because I've been hearing like all these negative things about if you get your supplements on Amazon that they're bad and you never know what you're really even getting anyhow. So moving on, what are some early signs you see when successful people are actually aging faster than they realize?
Well, so the low-hanging signs, things we see early are aches and pains in the joints. We see it in their skin. We see gravity taking effect. We see fine lines and wrinkles early on, crepey skin, loss of hair. If they're not maintaining the right hormones profiles, they lose energy, they lose posture. If they're not working out, they lose muscle mass. And then, of course, bone density, and bone density and muscle mass are crucial, important longevity factors.
Absolutely. I mean, those are such good signs to look out for because nobody wants to be aging faster. And we don't want to, in fact, go the other direction. I want to age in reverse.
There you
Uh,
go.
and moving on to gut health, why do gut health and immune function matter so much for resilience, energy, mental clarity under pressure? Because I don't know anybody who's not under pressure these days.
Well, as it turns out, the gut and what's living in our gut in terms of the diverse bacteria are part of our system. They help us process certain phytonutrients and they help and make and produce their own um, metabolites or biochemicals that signals our body, it signals our brain and the rest of us. So we really have to pay attention to what we eat. We have to consider probiotics and prebiotics to feed that biome to have the right makeup of the biome, and in fact, some constitution of the microbiome can help fight cancer. I mean, this is very powerful. We're just learning things about it that we should have learned, long ago. So that's part of what we're looking at in terms of microbiome. The rest of the health approach for reducing age and reduce stress can involve all kinds of different aspects from diet, exercise, nutrition, sleep, mental clarity, and breath work, and all these things contribute to what we call lifestyle medicine or epigenetics, meaning we can influence what genes are called upon or requested to be produced. We're not changing our genes. We're just focusing on the good ones and trying to defocus on the bad ones. So we really want to dial into that on a good longevity program when we help somebody.
Wow. I'm all about all of those things, but I didn't even realize that gut health can impact cancer. That is just really, really fascinating to know. And for someone leading a demanding life, what is one change that they can make right now to support long-term performance and longevity?
Exercise hard. You really have to use those muscles to their failure point. You don't have to hurt yourself. I mean, there are ways to do it even if you're frail, but you want to use your muscles to their failure point to gain muscle mass. The muscles, when used that way, release lactic acid, which is great for the brain. They release brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which stimulates the brain growth and development and prevents dementia. And other peptides are what we call myokines or exerkines because they come from the muscle during exercise, and they go throughout the body and support all kinds of aspects of health and tissue preservation.
Wow. So exercising hard, aerobically and lifting wise and all the things.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly with the resistance exercises. So it's either lifting or, hard stretching bands, squats, jumping, a little mini trampoline jumping, and get the lymph flow going. That's really great way to stimulate bone and muscle because if you want to live long, you have to take care of your bones. And to develop bones, you have to include weight-bearing exercise, not to mention vitamin D and hormone optimization, but you really need to be doing weight-bearing activities. Some of the aerobics activities are great for the heart and the vasculature and the lungs, but like elliptical, which I used to enjoy quite a bit, it doesn't have any real weight bearing. It's very smooth. Swimming is very smooth. Cycling is very smooth. You need weight bearing exercise to stimulate bone development. You need to take advantage of the gravity.
Okay, so the elliptical doesn't really do anything.
It builds a little bit of muscle, but it's not giving you the bone growth stimulus you need to build your bone density, maintain bone density so you don't develop a fracture from a mild twist or fall. And remember, you got to take care of your bones because that's where most of your stem cells are in your bone marrow. So if you don't take care of your bones, they're going to die out and you'll have what's called, conversion of the fat of the marrow into fatty marrow.
Oh, we don't want that. I could
No.
talk to you all day because longevity is seriously my favorite topic. Anti-aging, aging in reverse. Are there any final words of wisdom that you want to leave our audience with on how we can age better with exosomes?
Yeah, I mean, not just with exosomes, but there are options beyond what you'll find at your traditional doctor. And I was a traditional doctor. I was trained in the traditional sense, and I had to put down the Kool-Aid and go look for these cutting edge things that are available in Europe and Asia and now here. So seek it. If your doctor doesn't know, then ask another doctor. There are plenty of us. So don't take no for an answer. Seek the plan that you want. If you want to take action and live long, you have to do something. You have to have a plan. You have to write it down. You have to follow it.
Fascinating. I mean, it all starts with a plan. I couldn't agree more. And Dr. Jeff Gross, where can people find you?
Our business is called Recelebrate because we're celebrating the renewal of your cells. And that's ReCellEbrate. Our website is recelebrate.com. Our Instagram is at recelebrate. Our LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, all recelebrate. I think we own the word on the internet. So check us out.
Great name, recelebrate.com. Thanks, Dr. Gross.
Thank you.